workbook, page 133, starts off by asking you to write the equation of the line represented in the table. So yesterday we, of course, learned slope-intercept form of a line, which was y equals mx plus b, where, of course, m represents the slope. Don't do that to me. M represents the slope. I'm actually just going to type this in, be a little bit faster. And B represents the y-intercept. So that is what we did yesterday. If you were absent yesterday and aren't sure of these things, make sure you go back and read the recap for lesson 8. So we're being asked to write the equation represented by the points in the table. So then the other day we did the formula for finding slope when given 2 points, right? So of course here I have an x and a y. Actually, let me not write it like that. Here I have an x, -4, and the y that goes with it is 1, right? I have an x and a y point, and down here I have an x of 0 and a y of 2. So we keep in mind that the equation to find the slope when given 2 points is y2, and it doesn't matter which one is your second y point, minus y1, which is the other y, over x2 minus x1. So I'm just going to go ahead and find the slope of number 1 for you, so we can do that together as a little review. So the y2, I'm going to pick the number 2 minus 1, and that is going to be over 0 minus -4. So that will give me a slope. 2 minus 1 is 1. And 0 minus -4 is like saying 0 plus 4. So that gives me a slope of 1/4. Now I can go ahead and write the equation for this line of number 1. Y equals mx plus b. M is the slope. And now I have to ask myself, well, what about the b? What is the b? What is the y-intercept? And keeping in mind the y-intercept is where this line, if I'm using this graph, is going to cross the y-axis. So this point that crosses the y-axis is actually when x is 0, right? Because you're not going over at all, you're only going up or down. So this table actually does give us the y-intercept already. Table number 2 does not give you the y-intercept. So you'd have to pretend, okay, once you figure out your equation, what is, well, actually you can't figure out your equation, but once you figure out the slope, you can figure out, okay, when x is 0, what is y? So this is the work on page 133. Just a review of how to find slope when given a table, when given a graph where you can't count up or down. Remember, we're still using this slope formula. Now we're going to go ahead and skip ahead a little. Feel free to practice any of these that you want. But today we're actually going to look at another way to write an equation, and the way that this is called the point slope form of a line. It's definitely good to know. It's definitely less common than y equals mx plus b, but you may see equations written in this form. And if you look at the recap, which is on page 143 for this lesson, you will see the point slope form explained as well. So point slope form is always written like this: y minus a number equals a number, and then x plus or minus a number. I shouldn't have said y minus, it could be y plus a number. And so what this means is that we have the slope, which is right in front of the x, and then we also have 2 points on this line. Sorry, let me just actually type this up here, that way I'm not being confusing. So point slope form is y, it is written as minus, y minus a number, so that would be like our y, I'll put a subscript 1 after, equals mx minus x. And then I will actually add our little subscripts in here because I don't know how to type those. But we're going to have y1, which is just representing a point, and x1, which is representing a point. Those aren't commas, it's a number 1. So if we are looking at this equation here, we can see right from the equation what a point is. And our y coordinate of that point is actually 3. So if we're writing the point, our y coordinate is 3, and our x coordinate is 1. Since there's both negative signs here, we know that these are positive numbers because this is how the equation is written. And then we can see right from the equation also that we have a slope of 1/2. So yesterday we practiced graphing equations like this. So you would just start on the point that you're given. You know the point over 1 up 3 is actually on this line, and it has a slope of 1/2. So you can go up 1, over 1, 2, make another point, right? And then use a ruler. I'm not going to use a ruler because I'm drawing on the computer. So pretend this is nice and straight. Eek, it's not really, but pretend it is. And then just double check yourself. I should have a positive slope. Does the line that I drew show a positive slope? Yes, it does. So check, I have graphed the equation. So you guys can practice problem number 8 here. Pay attention to the fact that this is now a plus sign, which actually means your y coordinate is -4, okay? And then so you can figure out what your x coordinate is from there. That's pretty much all for this lesson that I wanted to point out to you, but definitely ask if you have any questions.